So here we go. It's interesting. The nation, the football media always talks about Tom Brady. How is Tom Brady doing it? And to that, my takeaway is anybody checked out that Drew Brees is doing it too? Drew Brees is doing it in New Orleans, putting up these 5,000-yard season. And it's pretty remarkable. And if you look at the Saints and you look at Tom Brady and you look at New England, these are division-winning quarterbacks now at 40. And all I know about Brady and his physical health and kind of obsessive detail on his health is what I hear about Drew Brees. You just don't get here without being all in on your body. And I know Drew is. And he is joining us now via the phone, Drew Brees, who always comes on the show once or twice a year, and we always appreciate that. So I ask you this every time. When you wake up in the morning, you're entering your 19th NFL season. Drew, how do you feel in camp waking up this morning?
I actually feel pretty good, man. I feel like a kid again.
Have you changed your diet over the last 10 years, Drew? Because you are doing something that only Brady's done. You changed your diet, or is it pretty much same old for you? You've always been this way.
I'd say I'm more conscious of it. Over the last 5 years, I've always been fairly disciplined with my diet, mainly in regards to food allergies and that kind of thing. That's something that I started, getting the blood test and doing different things to determine food allergies early in my career, and then kind of changed my diet maybe year 4, and have stayed pretty true to that. But I think in addition to that, now more so than ever, is just really paying attention to also the things that are going to reduce inflammation when it comes to food and diet, and just help me. Put me in the best position when it comes to recovery. So I think that's the thing with the aging process that becomes the most challenging, is just your ability to get up each and every day and do it again and again at the same level. And so at that point, it becomes all about recovery. Yeah, the training is important, but the recovery is even more important. So I think that's the information that we have, and that's something I think we've become a lot better at over the years.
Drew, a lot of players on your team are mid-20s. They don't have your life experience. They may not have kids, be married, listen to different music. How do you stay connected to 23-year-olds?
Well, for me, I feel like I have to teach them about the 80s, and about like 90s alternative music, right? So when I get in the weight room, that's the stuff I turn on. And it's my opportunity to teach them, about Pearl Jam, right? And Nirvana, and talking about the 80s a little bit, kind of like the hair bands and that kind of thing, Metallica.
Yeah.
So, they teach me, kind of the the millennial stuff, and then I teach them the old school stuff. So it's a good deal we got going.
Yeah, Nirvana's my hometown, Aberdeen, Westport, Washington. Know them well. Last year, after that no call loss to the Rams, very quickly after that, you came out and made a point of saying, "All right, it's awful. We got to go back to work." And I theorized at the time, I said, this is what leaders do, folks, because football makes us crazy. We love it. We get emotional. You don't want to lose games because of a loss to the Rams. Did you make a point and to really address that and say, let's get over it, knowing you live in one of the craziest, wildest, most loyal NFL cities in the country?
No, absolutely. Listen, New Orleans was hurting. We were all hurting. We were all struggling. And when I made that statement, I was talking to myself as much as I was to anybody else. That was painful. I think it will always be painful. That sting never really leaves you. But listen, you got one or two choices. You can go in the tank, or you can find a way to have it motivate you and add some fuel to the fire and turn it into a positive somehow, some way. So I've chosen to take that road and that mindset. And I see the opportunity that we have in front of us as a team. I love our team. I love our locker room. I feel like we got a great window of opportunity here, and I want us to see us I want to see us take full advantage of it.
If you look at what's happening in the NFL, Drew, it's pretty remarkable. Even 5 or 6 years ago, first-round quarterbacks were failing half the time. Of the last 14 first-round quarterbacks, only one has really struggled, Paxton Lynch. The difference between college and pro, it's shrinking. Are there now with you are so deft at the NFL offenses, but are you and Sean, are you stealing stuff from college? On Saturday night, do you see stuff and bring it in? Or are you still more, do you believe, much more about the NFL offense?
Well, they might be. I think we're stealing stuff for Taysom Hill, maybe not for me.
Yeah.
No. Listen. It's. I think to your point about these young quarterbacks coming in and being able to adjust to the NFL game so quickly. I think it's a credit to just the amount of reps that these guys are getting with these 7-on-7 passing academies and everything. I mean, guys are just so much more advanced now coming in, and I think there's also a lot of crossover between NFL and college in regards to coaching. And so you just get these schemes that are hopping back and forth. And, then you have some of these unique players like Kyler Murray, who comes in and that system in Arizona seems to, it's being created for him, right, and to utilize his strengths. And, Cliff Kingsbury, who, oddly enough, I played against in high school, is bringing in, this system to fit him, to suit him, to build around him. So, that's just, I think that's one of the reasons why these guys, I think, are coming in and they're so well prepared, and there's a level of maturity that's coming along with that as well. Different than, guys when I came in, and it was like, hey, you're going to back up for a few years, and then you'll get your opportunity after that once you kind of get the hang of it. But yeah, it's the game has almost just been fast tracked in that way.
Is Sean Payton's system offensively complicated, or does he simplify it, or because you have the ability to catalog so much stuff because of your history, would you call it a complicated system?
For somebody coming in for the first time, yes. Yeah, absolutely. But if you've been here for a little bit and you've been able to see the evolution, I would equate it to like this. It's like coming in and having to go to Calculus 303 and skip algebra and geometry and everything else, right? Like you kind of have to start off at square one and go through the levels in order to get to where we're at. And so, listen, inevitably, you have young players that you just have to get up to speed, and it just takes time. It takes time on task. And, that's why I think this camp has been exciting compared to last year. Last year, listen, you go through the season, and we had a ton of young guys playing.
Yeah.
A ton of young guys at the skill position. That just, it takes time, and so I've seen the light bulb now come on for these guys in year 2 through this training camp. And then that's been exciting because then you begin to open up the playbook a little bit and see the possibilities.
Well, you've got as good an offensive line as I think you've ever had. You've got a running game, a star wide receiver, and a brilliant head coach, Drew Brees. By the way, I've got a Jimmy John's sandwich chain restaurant next to my house, and you got to tell us about Jimmy John.
So we're running a campaign with Jimmy John's. First of all, I'm a Jimmy John's franchisee. We actually have 18 stores, 9 of them here in New Orleans, 9 in South Bend, and continuing to grow and expand as we speak. But so I've been a fan of Jimmy John's since college. We have a really cool campaign going at Jimmy John's corporate where we are actually going to buy a home for someone inside a Jimmy John's delivery zone up to $250,000. So go to jimmyjohns.com to enter. You just write a short 250-word essay as to why you should be inside the Jimmy John's delivery zone. We're very strict about our delivery zones, right? It's 5 minutes, which allows us to deliver your sandwich as fast and fresh as possible. We master delivery. That's what we do. That's what we're the absolute best at. And so we're always fighting for every inch of our delivery zone, but we recognize there's some Jimmy John's super fans that are outside the delivery zone. So we got to find ways to get them inside the delivery zone. So this is just a fun contest that we're running to get get a super fan a home inside a Jimmy John's delivery zone.
Drew, 11-time Pro Bowler, a first-ballot Hall of Famer you will be, 19th year for the Saints. Absolute pleasure talking to you. Get back to practice. Thanks, bud.
All right, Colin. Thanks, man.
You bet. Drew Brees. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.